Hello, and welcome back to episode six, yes, of Rachel Knits Things. My name is Rachel. This is a space for me to talk about my knitting, crocheting, fiber arts, talk about my goals, and keep myself accountable to those goals in a way. Obviously, meeting every goal is not going to necessarily be possible, but we're sure gonna try, and talking about it here will make it more likely for me to do that. So my name's Rachel. I'm a 28-year-old knitter and crocheter from southeastern Michigan, where I live with my husband and our 4 cats, and I've got a special guest here. This is my husband's geriatric cat, who, if I were to try and move her, she would come right back once she has decided to sit here. That was Onion, and she's in a hyper mood, so you're probably going to be seeing a lot of her today. So, I did not film a video last weekend. I felt like absolute garbage. So, here I am. This is going to be 2 weeks worth of knitting and progress, and because I didn't film because I didn't film a podcast episode last week, I'm gonna be going through my February goals this week. I do have a ring light going. It's kind of a weird angle, so the lighting is gonna be a little bit off today. It is dark and stormy outside, so I don't have any natural light helping me out. But let's get into my February goals that have kind of been solidified. So, my goals for this month are to finish my muscle bra that I am making for my brother-in-law for his birthday at the end of the month, to cast on the blanket I am making for my brother's girlfriend's birthday next month, to finish 1 panel of my honey cardigan, to finish my grandma core hood, and to have a big old blocking party. I have so many finished objects that need to be blocked. Some are gifts that are going to be given within the next month, and it's got to get done. So let's jump right into things with my first finished object and first month's goal that has been finished. So this is the muscle bra that I have made for my brother-in-law. Here is my progress keeper. This is the cast on edge, so here is where I was at. This is how much I had knit the last time that I recorded an episode, and yeah. I finished this a couple of days ago. The stockinette in the round was apparently something that I really needed in my life. I've been wanting to read a lot lately, and normally I'm pretty good at reading and doing like a ribbing or really anything. But for some reason I needed that stockinette. So this is my first finished object and my first met goal for this month, and this last 2 weeks I worked on this for about 12 and a half hours, and that my total time to knit this was 20 hours and 41 minutes. And I did go and see the Mean Girls musical movie, and I brought this with me to work on, so I got, a good amount of uninterrupted, just sit in the dark knitting time at the movie. It fits me pretty well. Hopefully it will fit my brother-in-law. I've got a claw clip, a big giant claw clip in my hair, so it's not going on my head right now. It's not happening. But it fits me pretty well. It needs to be washed and blocked. One of the things that I've got in my blocking party list. Yeah, and that is that. It was such a fun knit. I truly enjoyed working on it. Just like I said, I needed that stockinette in the round in my life. And that brings me to my new cast on. And you may recognize the yarn from last week. This is the one item that I frogged from my Frog or Finish. And it was a lighthouse beanie, and it is now going to be turned into a dual-toned muscle bra beanie. So, it's for my husband's grandpa. My cats are very hyper and chasing each other around in the background, so you're probably going to be hearing an elephant parade, as I like to call it. So, this is about, how much time? 4.5 hours worth of work on this. The gauge is a little bit tighter. It's about a 6-stitch gauge, and it is still on the 4mm needles. Apparently I'm a tight knitter because the gauge for this yarn says it is 5.5, should be like 5.5 per inch. So a little bit tight on my gauge, but it also was already in a project, and so it was ripped back and I steamed it. I also fully, I found a knot, and I thought it was a knot that I did to join two separate balls, and so I just yanked it, and then I wound them up after I had steam blocked them, and I waved them, and I just ripped a ball in half, basically. So I guess they're in the middle of the ball. They were almost exactly, one was 24 and one was 26, so they were exactly half of a ball of this Valley Yarns Superwash Merino. Yeah, I was so done with it, and I just yanked it right in half as I was waiting for my steamer to heat up and like winding it around my arm. I found the knot and I was like, no, not happening. And then I'll do a Russian twist to join with, so you use like the needle, the tapestry needle, and join them with a little loop. Yeah, that's one of my favorite ways to join yarn. But yes, the stockinette in the round is currently a must-have, and we will add a progress keeper, and then right there. And next one, we'll talk about Grandma Core hood. Here we go. So this I worked on for about 3.5 hours this week. Here is where I was. I started, and that is where I got to. So I've got a good few inches of progress on this in the last 2 weeks. I'm about to lose stitches, and I think I am nearly to where it says to join the round, but I might need to make it a little bit longer. I think my gauge is just a little bit tight, maybe. So it's very cute, definitely grandma vibes, and yes, I've got my two, so I've got the mohair in one yarn bowl and the merino balls in the other. We're doing it this way. It's definitely a stationary project. It is not an on-the-go project for me. And it's gonna get popped back over here on the floor beside my, beside my chair. Moves with me from room to room, but doesn't go many places. All right, so the honey cardigan. I put in about 3 hours and my ball of yarn is on the floor. Put in about 3 hours of work on this over this week. There's my progress keeper. Is this the front side or the back side that I'm showing? I'm looking at the front. Okay. So, here is, that's how much progress I made here. Good couple of inches. And it looks a bit of a mess. I'm hoping it'll block out. It probably won't. That's fine. I did see that she, in her latest video, Kuta Vikika, who designed this, has just designed another fisherman's rib cardigan, and she held, I think, this same yarn with mohair to give it better stitch definition, and it looks so good. And I'm like, and of course it's in the round, whereas I'm making a seamed garment, and I'm just like, ooh. If this were in the round, it probably would have been done by now. Not in the round, it's seamless. It's a cardigan. There's no round on it. Okay. Moving up the stitch marker. I was working on this. My husband and I went out for a late breakfast / brunch, and I was working on this at the restaurant. So while we were waiting for our food, now off to the side. The Sporty Knit Skirt is over here in one of my project bags, and I'm not going to bother to get it out because the answer to how much I've worked on it is 0. Absolutely zip zilch 0. I need to get that out. I'll probably do that this week because it has a really easy stitch repeat. It's like a 3x5 rib. So I will get that out, and then at some point pick up for the stitches for the shorts once I finish this ball that I've got going. And where is what I need? Okay, making sure this isn't falling off. This is my Thea top. It was one of my graveyard whips. I have picked up and knit one of the ribbing bands for the arms. Is this the right way? Yes. Yeah, it should be. Picked up and knit one of the ribbing bands. I've just started the Italian bind off. It took me longer than expected because I did have to pick up stitches. I was doing it while I was working, and I answer phones for a pest control company. So I get a little bit sidetracked. I've got, you know, phone calls, emails, those kinds of things that like to interrupt me while trying to work on things. So it took me a little longer than I expected, although I think I was being very generous by saying like 1 to 2 hours each. I really should have known because this is a really smaller gauge, and quite a good number of stitches around. The pattern, like I said before, it does call to put slip stitches in it. I did that with the first one that I made, and I hated the way that it looked because it ended up looking more like a vest or slip over, whereas it's supposed to be like a summer tank top. I slip stitch really tightly. This is a known problem for me. If I did them, I probably should have gone up like 1 to 2 hook sizes if I did do the slip stitches. I'm not doing them. You're supposed to do them before you do the ribbing. It makes picking up the stitches for the neckline and the armbands way more difficult. It's not very comfortable when you're wearing it. Not happening. So I do like the look of this a lot more than my last one where I did the slip stitches. Of course, this is also more the proper gauge of yarn that I was supposed to use, and the one I used previously was much thicker. So it's pretty. I might end up having to over dye it. I want to wear pastels so bad. I don't know for sure. I think I'm probably a winter because I have very naturally dark hair. I have very pale skin. I have, you know, green eyes, whatever, high contrast features. And I'm pretty sure that I am cool toned no matter how much I say that I don't care. I might be a neutral undertone. I truly have no clue. But pastels look atrocious on me, and I need to learn to accept that. I look really bad in them. And my hair is currently super faded, so it's probably washing me out just a little bit. And I have the hair dye for it, so I could go and dye it at any point. I'm just too lazy for that. It is about time for me to get back to the salon and get the roots touched up and get it re-dyed. But yeah, so this is the Thea top. I've got one armband nearly done. I went to grab the yarn for this and found it. This is bamboo. I found it like practically chewed up. It was so strange. I don't know if it was one of my cats. I don't know if it was some sort of insect of some sort. I have no clue what happened. But it had been like gnawed on and was like busted up, and I had to cut off. I mean, it was like my wingspan width of length of yarn to get past where it had been like chewed up. And I don't think it was one of my cats, because my cats wouldn't have left it how they did. They would have chomped on it until it broke off and then eaten it. Like, there would have been no evidence other than, you know, later on. And also I couldn't see them chewing on it that far back into the ball. They would have chewed on like the last couple of inches. So, of course, I didn't take, that yarn has not been taken care of at all. It's been really chaotically taken care of. And yeah, it has been so warm here the last few days, hence why I'm wearing a short sleeve top. And I'm wearing this because now that it's getting up to like 40 degrees, my body has decided that the cool 69 degrees that I keep my temperature, my thermostat set to when I've got the furnace running, is just absolutely boiling. I don't know. Yesterday I was like, I had on a t-shirt and like a crew neck sweatshirt, and it was like on and off all day. I would be like, I'm sweating, I'm about to sweat out of my skin. I would take the crew neck off, and then 20 minutes later I'd be freezing and have to put it right back on. I'm like, what is happening to me right now? So yes, that Thea top took a bit longer than expected to do those armbands. I should have known better. I'm not the fastest knitter in the world, especially when I'm trying to do two things at once and doing even just one by one ribbing. Trying to like read or do whatever else will definitely slow me down. So hopefully I'll be able to get a few things done this week. I'm hoping to finish up The chunky ribbed beanie that I showed off last week, I did not get a chance to work on it, or not last week, 2 weeks ago. Didn't get the chance to work on it in the last couple of weeks. This week, however, my total amount of knitting time, and this is estimated because I did not time how much I actually worked on the Thea top. So in the last 2 weeks, I have knit about 26.5 hours, bringing it the weekly average to about 13. So a little less than normal because I typically put in like 14 to 15 hours of knitting. But yeah, like I said, once that hat, the first hat was done, I just didn't want to knit. I was like, I want to read, and I can't read when I'm like working on a lace pattern or doing this or that or whatever. I've got some audiobooks that I need to listen to that I bought, so maybe we'll do that. But this is going to be a bit of a shorter episode today, I guess, because I have really nothing else to talk about. So yes, monthly goals this month: finish a panel on my honey cardigan. I've met the goal of finishing the muscle bra for my brother-in-law. Have a big old blocking party, finish the Grandma Core hood so that I can wear it while it's still cold enough, even though it's currently not really cold enough to wear it. I mean, if I'm outside for a good amount of time, maybe, like if I go for a walk or something, but for Michigan, this is quite warm. It's been about 40, high 30s, low 40s all week. And what was the other one? Cast on that blanket project, which I will hopefully be doing sometime this week. So if you enjoyed this video, leave a comment. I would love to read them. Like it, subscribe so that you can come back for the next video, and I will see you all next week.
Fantastic.